Now, after Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar's veiled attack on Rahul Gandhi over his remarks in Britain that the opposition is being muzzled in Parliament, Congress MP Jairam Ramesh has accused the Vice President of being a cheerleader for the ruling dispensation, adding that what Rahul Gandhi said was true and representative of the ground reality. Listen in to what Jagdeep Dhankhar had to say.
If I observe silence on this orchestration by a member parliament outside the country, which is ill-premised, unwholesome, motivated, I would be on the wrong side of Constitution. It will be constitutional culpability and outrage of my oath. How can I sanctify a statement that mics in Indian Parliament are put off? How dare anyone pick up courage to say so?
We're crossing over to CNN News 18 senior editor Pallavi Ghosh to get us more on this. Pallavi, we now have the Congress calling the Vice President a cheerleader. What is the significance of this and what is the impact of this likely to be?
Well, I think the immediate impact will be that when on 13th the Parliament reconvenes, there's going to be a complete breakdown of mistrust between the two sides, which in any case has been. I mean, if you remember the last Parliament session, the Mallikarjun Kharge's comments on the Adani issue were expunged. So was the case with other opposition parties as well. In any case, the opposition feels that he is his master's voice, which is that he's carrying on the government's agenda inside Rajya Sabha, and there's no free and fair conduct of parliamentary proceedings. So I think the latest confrontation we're seeing between the Congress and between the Vice President is going to spill over to the Parliament when it reconvenes on 13th.
Now, do you think this is going to escalate into a massive war of words, considering what Jairam Ramesh has said about the Vice President?
Well, recently the Vice President's words that when he was talking about the BBC documentary saying it was peddling a false narrative was again something which was opposed by the opposition. According to them, there was no need for the Vice Chairperson to step in. According to the opposition, him expunging comments of the Congress President and of other opposition leaders was absolutely unwarranted. And also the fact that he was only reprimanding the opposition and not the Treasury bench. According to the opposition, the Vice President is not free and fair. And, as long as they think that he is not exercising his constitutional authority, and if you listen to the words of Jairam Ramesh in that statement, he says that he is supposed to maintain an arm's length from the government rather than being a voice of the government, essentially captures the essence of what the opposition feels about the new Vice President. And if you are going to begin the second part of the budget session, which in any case had lots of issues on the platter as far as the opposition is concerned, as far as the government is concerned, I think that's a very fair indication of what's really going to be happening.
Absolutely. Now, to give our viewers some more perspective on this response as well and to what the Vice President had to say, would you be able to go over some of the remarks that Rahul Gandhi had made?
But what the Vice President was talking about specifically is that when Rahul Gandhi was speaking on all the 4 occasions in UK, he kept on insisting on the fact that democracy in India is under siege. He said, I belong to the opposition. There are several criminally liable cases against me which should not have been filed. Inside Parliament, our mics are switched off. We are not allowed to speak. And in fact, he actually put up a poster of opposition leaders protesting outside the Mahatma Gandhi statue. And he said, look, this is what we have to do, because we're not allowed to speak inside Parliament. It is to this point specifically that the Vice President has an objection to. He said that's not fair, that's not correct, because you are allowed to speak, all of you are allowed to speak, and therefore to say that democracy is under siege is absolutely wrong, especially at a time when India is getting so much of global praise as a president of G20 on multiple other issues as well.
Pallavi, do stay with us. We're being joined by Mr. Tom Vadakan of the BJP. Mr. Vadakan, thank you so much for speaking to CNN News 18. The breaking development here that we're covering is that the Congress MP, Jairam Ramesh, has essentially accused the Vice President of being a cheerleader for the ruling dispensation. How do you see the statement?
Well, I think it is Jairam Ramesh who is the cheerleader for his former president. He should examine his own conscience when he talks about issues which the Vice President has highlighted. The Vice President has clearly indicated as a sensitive citizen, plus the presiding officer in the Rajya Sabha, he's rightly pointed out these things are false. And when these closing of the mics and the kind of pictures that he's putting on, is he part of a propaganda material that our enemy nations want to promote? I'm asking this question. I'm asking this question to the public. Is this the brief that the former Congress president has to damage India? And if the vice president has spoken, he has rightly spoken. And the cheerleader is Jairam Ramesh.
Now, what will you seek to do in response to what Jairam Ramesh has said? Will there be protests? What kind of action will you seek to take? Will there be anything at all?
See, at this point of time when you're asking me this question, Jairam Ramesh is absolutely playing the cheerleader. And if he continues doing that, it'll expose him. It'll expose the Congress party. It's unfortunate. While they should be regretting such a statement by their former vice president, nobody is talking about it. And the people of India will reply to this. And the insult to the country is not acceptable.
And will you be bringing this up in the second session of Parliament?
This will come up and this issue will be raised because this is sensitive and this should be an all-party endeavor to tell this no more young MP that this will